What is up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Not So Stupid Podcast. Today's episode is going to be really fun. This has been something that's been going around. Gary Vee's been doing it, a lot of other influencers have been doing it, and I had a client suggest to me that they wanted me to do it for fitness and nutrition stuff. So I figured, why not give it a shot? And I told them to give me a list of a few things so that I can rate them as either overrated or underrated. And I didn't see the list yet. I have it open, but I didn't actually get to go through it. So I'll be reading these in live time. I think it's going to be a list of 7 things around there. I told him to give me 7, so I hope he gave me 7. But we'll be going through each one, explaining why they're underrated and why you should do them more, or most people aren't doing them enough, and why other things might be overrated and people are doing it too much. They're not giving you the results that you want. They're not worth the money that they cost, that kind of thing. So we will jump right into it. So the first thing that I got here is pistol squats. Pistol squats as overrated or underrated. So for those of you that don't know, pistol squats are just single leg squats, single leg body weight squats. So you end up looking like a pistol at the bottom because you have one leg straight out and your butt is to the floor and you're only standing on one leg as you do the squat. As a whole, early on when I was a personal trainer, we used to practice pistol squats all the time because my fitness manager at the time was able to do them flawlessly. So all the other trainers were working together trying to get to a pistol squat at some point and practicing that regularly and consistently. That was like a big focal point for like 6 months of my life. But as a whole, I think it's definitely overrated just because there's not a lot of benefit to it. You're definitely better off doing Bulgarian split squats. You're going to get better muscle stimulus. You're going to get better range of motion. It's better for your back too. You're better off doing lunges, reverse lunges, any kind of single leg exercise like that, step ups, step downs even. Regular squats I would even consider as a better workout than pistol squats, but pistol squats are still like a cool thing. It's like a one arm pull up. It's a cool thing that you're able to do, but it's not something that everyone needs to work up toward. It's not something that is going to help you build more muscle faster, or have stronger joints, or lose fat faster. It's not going to be any of those things, but it is a cool way to challenge yourself. So as a whole, for the average person, for majority of people, if you're not competing at the CrossFit Games where they require you to do pistol squats, I'm going to say it's overrated. Pistol squats are overrated. The next one I got is box jumps. Box jumps. This is a good one because I think in a lot of group fitness classes, they will be doing box jumps and all of these plyometric exercises to help you, get your heart rate up as high as you can and burn as much fat, or burn as many calories as possible, I should say, and sweat as much as possible. But outside of those classes, you don't really see people doing box jumps as much, people that go to the gym. I know most gyms now have boxes for people to jump on, but most people aren't utilizing them. They're just staying against the wall and not being used to their full potential. So I think the way most people think box jumps should be used is wrong, and I think that method of using box jumps is overrated. You shouldn't be trying to jump on a box as many times as you can for 60 seconds. That's a poor use of your cardio system, poor use of your muscles, and a poor use of your explosiveness. If you use it in a structured pattern, like 3 sets of 5, 3 sets of 6, maybe 8 at the most, I would say, if you're going for like really high speed and rebounding, staying on the floor as little as possible, that's cool. But doing it in 60 seconds, trying to get like 30 jumps in that time, that's a little excessive. So I want to say box jumps are actually underrated for general use, for being used in workout programs and helping you on your leg days, activating those muscles, pushing you to create more explosiveness in your joints, because there's such a big neurological benefit to doing box jumps. And if you can push yourself to do higher box jumps, you're only going to improve your neurology that much more and prevent future injury because you're so much more in tune with your body. So as a whole, box jumps are underrated, but doing them for fatigue, basically just trying to wear you out as much as possible, that's definitely overrated. So be smart about how you use your box jumps. I shouldn't leave it so open-ended. I always like to use them as a combination or as a primer to my main lift. So ideally on squat day, if before squats, I'll either do vertical squat jumps or box jumps to help prime again your central nervous system to get ready for loading the muscles, because that is the movement pattern that a squat does basically, right? You're just squatting down to jump up as high as you can. You're doing the same thing with a barbell squat, but you're just not you're just under load. You're not leaving the ground. So when you do that, your muscles that are going to be used are already primed and ready, and they're already tuned into your central nervous system to lift heavier loads. So that's always really important, is to do something plyometric before lifting a heavy squat. And even if your goal is like athletic performance, or just, you know, trying to get a higher vertical, that kind of thing, I would superset it with barbell squats sometimes, or some sort of single leg variation, like a Bulgarian, and then superset it with a box jump. So that would be a smarter way to use it, using it in conjunction with your workouts to help optimize your workouts for better lifts, and to help optimize your performance gains for better vertical jump, for better return on the energy that you use. So that was actually a good one. So box jumps, underrated overall, and because they're not being used properly, I think. The next one I got is battle ropes. So battle ropes are always fun. I feel like they're definitely exhausting, and they're kind of, you know, they're kind of used like box jumps in the sense of they're just there to tire you out as much as you can. They obviously get your arms burning. You feel that lactic acid buildup, and you just got to sit there for X amount of time to wave the ropes in whatever pattern that you have to wave them in, because there's so many different ways to use, or so many different, so many different movements you can do with battle ropes. You know, you can do doubles, you can do singles, alternating, you can make big circles. I used to get really creative with this when I did my fitness classes back in the day, but as a whole, battle ropes are definitely going to be overrated. They're just one of those things that are added in there to make you work harder. You know, a lot of training programs slash group fitness classes, they don't always focus on efficiency and structure. They just focus on making you as tired as possible. And that's especially true for newer trainers, right? They're just trying to kick your butt a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. You should definitely challenge yourself in certain regards, but in terms of the return on investment for what you do in that time, I would definitely rather you do so many other things to your arms, to your upper body, than battle ropes. So as a whole, battle ropes are definitely going to be overrated for me. The next one I got is diet soda. Diet soda. I think that's a funny one, because I think in the fitness, or maybe not in the fitness community, but in the health community, people that really are concerned with being as healthy as possible, you know, they really bag on any kind of carbonated beverages. Diet soda or full calorie soda, whatever it is, they're going to be hating on it. But I think diet soda is a really cool tool to help you, because technology has come such a far way. Diet soda tastes just as pretty much the same as regular soda. I'm not really a soda drinker in general, but I know that to be true. And you could definitely use that to your advantage if you like pairing carbonated beverage with certain foods. Why not use it and not get the calorie gain from it? You know, so I think they're underrated in that regard, especially in the fat loss regard. I don't think you should be consuming them all the time, but if you have every couple of days, you know, it's not going to kill you. And there's also a hidden benefit to carbonated beverages in general, whether that's soda or sparkling water, anything canned like that. They can actually curb your appetite. The bubbles curb your appetite. I think I remember reading something along those lines, which I thought was really interesting. So having those alongside a meal that you would normally overeat can actually help you reduce how much you're eating for that meal and maybe for the rest of the day. So that's a little fun fact to carbonated beverages, whether it's sparkling water cans or bottles or soda cans, whatever it is. You can have 0-calorie drinks that help you reduce your appetite because of the carbonation. So underrated. Diet soda is going to be underrated as a whole for fat loss, and maybe, I wouldn't say for health. They don't really necessarily help you with health too much. Sparkling water helps you a little more because it is water, it's hydration. But as a whole, I would say underrated. It's one of those things that I think people brush off too easily as a bad thing, but it could be really helpful for you. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got 3 more. halfway through here. So let's see. The next one is, what do I want to choose? I'm gonna say waist trainers and sweatsuits. Waist trainers and sweatsuits. So at my old gym where I was a personal trainer at, you couldn't go an hour without seeing somebody in a sweatsuit or in a waist trainer. It was a daily occurrence, an hourly occurrence, no matter what time of day you went. If you walked around the gym enough, you would find someone that had one of these on, at least one person that had these on, if not a group of people that were working out together and had these on. But you know, there is no correlation between sweating more and burning more fat or burning more calories. Everyone's sweat glands are going to be different from person to person. The only thing you're doing is losing more water. You just need to rehydrate yourself better if you're in one of these suits, if you're in a waist trainer, if you're in a sweatsuit. So, you know, you're not losing more fat, you're going to lose more water, and it doesn't make the activity that you're doing more more likely to burn you more calories. It just makes you sweatier and probably a little stickier and a little more tired. But all this to say that it's definitely overrated. Overrated, waste of money, would never invest in it, wouldn't recommend it to anybody. So yeah, we'll keep that one short. Sweating has no correlation with fat loss or calorie burn. It's just what it is. So it's just what it is. It's just sweat. It's a release of water to help regulate your body temperature, and everyone regulates their body temperature different. And the more sweat you lose, the more water you just need to drink in return. It doesn't mean you lost more fat or you're burning more calories faster or anything like that. So that was a good one. Okay, I got two more. Yeah, two more. So I'm gonna go with 10K steps. So 10K steps, because this is a very easy recommendation for people that are getting started. That don't really want to go to the gym, they don't really want to work out, but they want to be more active. They just have to do 10,000 steps of walking. And I think a lot of people really brush this off because it's just walking. Why would you do that? But I think this is the most underrated aspect of any fat loss program. People are more ready to, do any of the things we already talked about. So they're more ready to box jump 100 times, and they're more ready to box jump in a sweatsuit while doing battle ropes at the same time to lose fat, but they're not willing to walk after that for 10 minutes. They want to just do the really hard workout that makes it feel like some change is happening right away, and make themselves as tired as possible to help them feel like they're losing fat before they would even consider walking. But really, if you're doing this type of exercise, this super intense sweatsuit box jump battle rope exercise, and you're not getting your steps in, you're only going to get so much results. You're only going to lose so much fat. You're really going to hit a wall pretty soon in your fat loss journey, because you're not moving the rest of the day. I always say, if you work out for an hour a day, let's say 5 days a week, it's only 5 hours of your week. And an average week, I think, has 168 hours, something along those lines, 150 to 160. That's a very small part of your week. If you're not moving the rest of the day, the rest of the week, you're not going to be burning any more calories. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck at some point. So, always making sure you get your 10K steps no matter what. That's still something I always try to work on. I aim for 8 to 12,000 every single day. It's definitely underrated for every person, because you got to use your body. You got to move your body. Your body's designed to move. And, if you neglect that, that's when you're going to experience a lot of pains and aches, and, even mentally, you become more lethargic when you don't move as much. So definitely underrated. Everyone should be doing this, I think, in my opinion. Maybe not 10,000 per se, but 7 to 12, 8 to 12 is definitely a good range for every human to try and aim for. Okay, then the last one, this is going to be a fun one. It's Smith machines. So for those that don't know, Smith machines are the machines that are likely in the corner of your gym that have a latch system, kind of. They lock in. So you rotate the bar to release it, and it slides up and down on this mechanism, and then you rotate it back to latch it at a certain point. I see a lot of people trying to learn how to squat on this bench press, doing specific lifts on there, but it's not the same. I just get to the point with that one. It's definitely not the same. Squatting on there, benching on there, What else can you do? Conventional deadlifts on there. Any of your major lifts, the major barbell lifts, overhead press, barbell row, bench press, squat, deadlift, any of those on the Smith machine isn't going to be exactly the same. And the reason being is because, one, your barbell path, the path that you're going to be lifting in, is already decided for you. So you don't have to use a lot of your stabilizing muscles. You still use a lot of your major muscle groups that are going to be controlling the movement. If you're doing a bench press, if you do it properly, you will likely still use your chest, if not at least your shoulders, but the stabilizers in your shoulders, the smaller muscles that help keep you in a good position, keep your shoulder in a strong position, don't need to be activated because the bar is already stabilized for you. So in that regard, I don't think it's a fair comparison, and I really wouldn't recommend it for most people to use in replacement of a major lift. So you're not getting the most out of it. It's not directly it doesn't directly translate to regular barbell lifts, and it's just not as it's not for the same reps that you do on a Smith machine and the same reps you do and the same weight you do on a regular, let's say, barbell squat. You're going to get a lot more out of the regular barbell squat than out of the Smith machine for the same amount of time. You're going to get better control of your body. You're going to get better joint stability and health. In the Smith machine, you actually lose a lot of joint stability, or not lose, but you don't gain a lot of joint stability. So you'll have your major muscles around your joint get stronger, but the actual stabilizers around your joints not get stronger. At some point, that's going to lead to an overuse injury. It's going to lead to a tendonitis kind of injury because of that. So, it's not worth the return. And then beyond that, directly translating it to real life, nothing you work with in real life is going to be as fixed as the Smith machine. So it's better to practice with a non-Smith machine to be more proficient at the movement, actually use your joints in the right way and activate your muscles and your stabilizers and your core in the right way. Because your core also doesn't get activated when you use a Smith machine because it doesn't need to. You're already perfectly balanced. In that, using it for main lifts, I think it's not a good idea. But Smith machine still has a cool role in being used for isolation exercises. So this is especially helpful for any kind of specialization phase if you're looking to build one specific muscle group. So let's say like glutes, if you're trying to build your glutes and you want to lift heavy RDLs, heavy hip thrusts, but you don't want to worry about stabilizing, you only want to target your glutes, then it's going to be pretty helpful, because then you don't have to worry about balancing or anything like that. You just have to focus on actually using your glutes to do the movement. You just have to focus on that one muscle to do the movement properly. Likewise for chest or for rows or for shoulders, you don't have to, if you're trying to focus on one part of that, if you're trying to focus on a specific aspect of your chest, if you're trying to focus on a specific aspect of your shoulder or your back, you can enhance that using a Smith machine a little more effectively without your form breaking, because you're in a fixed plane of motion. So you can use that in your advantage for a hypertrophy phase or a specialization phase where you're trying to build muscle and you're trying to focus on one special group. The Smith machine can be really advantageous for that. So I'm going to go ahead and rate Smith machines as just properly rated. They're not overrated, they're not underrated. I think for the newcomer in the gym, they're going to be overrated, if I'm going to be honest. I would, again, you're going to gain a lot more, you're going to learn a lot more about your body, and you're going to know how to control your body a lot better using free weights, dumbbells, barbells, that kind of thing, than you would with a Smith machine. But for the more experienced lifter that is going to try to focus on hypertrophy, that really wants to target a specific muscle group and build it in that way, then I would say it's underrated. I think not enough people use the Smith machine to that advantage. So yeah, that would be why I would say properly rated for the average person. For the average person, it's going to be properly rated. It's good for some exercises, for some isolation exercises, and for specialization exercises, but avoid using it for compound lifts. So that was all of them. So really like this one. If you guys really like this one, let me know on Instagram in my email, and let me know if you want me to rate something that you're thinking about, if this inspired some ideas for you. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Before I let you go, definitely, as always, check out the show sponsors. Check out Top Notch Nutrition for the best supplements around. If you're in Ramadan, I definitely highly recommend getting hydrate and getting greens, because you're going to be deficient in hydration and you're going to be deficient in vegetable consumption. That is a guarantee in Ramadan because you don't have enough time to eat. So I would highly recommend you checking that out. And I also highly recommend you checking out Strong Coffee Company. Best coffee around. I had some for sahur this morning, and you know, it's been keeping me going for the past few hours. So definitely would recommend Strong Coffee Company to everyone listening here. You're gonna get all the brain benefits, all the energy benefits that you would from regular coffee, but without any of the crash or jitters. Plus, you're gonna get some collagen protein, MCT oil, and nootropics in there as well. So lots of benefits to Strong Coffee. So make sure you check out the show sponsors. Code STUPIDFIT for both of them at checkout, or use the link to automatically get 15% off. You supporting the sponsors helps me get better people on the show and helps you use a good product that I know is going to be reliable for you to get the results that you want. So everybody wins. All three people in this equation win here. So definitely make sure to check those out, and we will see you guys on the next episode.